What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Drizzy here, and as you can see, we're gonna be talking about Overwatch 2 today, baby. I've been playing a lot of Overwatch 2. I've been having some fun. But on TikTok, I always see these like little videos about Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 and things, and I just feel like most of them either don't know what they're talking about or are completely wrong. And this is from the perspective of an average gamer. I know that everyone else has already talked about it, like the GM players and the Masters players, and they've disagreed and agreed with some things. This is coming from someone who's literally ranked gold, silver, which is a little bit, actually, it's a little bit below average. Actually climbed out of bronze. So yeah, we're talking bottom of the barrel, and I will talk about things that seem to be a little bit misinterpreted, I want to say. Starting off with, I'm just going to rip the band-aid right off rip. Overwatch 2 and Overwatch 1 don't play the same. They don't play the same at all. The only way that Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2 play the same is if you only play one role and you only play like a set amount of characters in that role. If you only play DPS and you play Genji, Widow, Ashe, I'm trying to think of another character like that, and characters like Tracer, you could argue. Characters like that who had one role in Overwatch 1 and have that same role in Overwatch 2, yes, the game's gonna feel like it plays the same. However, for the healers, it plays completely different. Healers actually can self-sustain themselves and don't have to worry about healing each other, not nearly as much. And they can also play just a tad bit more aggro, do a little bit more damage. And like damage numbers as Ana have skyrocketed since Overwatch 2 has came out. And also she still outputs about the same amount of healing, which just goes to show that she doesn't have to heal herself as much. She can actually peak a little bit. And as tank, 90% of the tanks play off like the wall. Like Orisa just runs at you. Doomfist still sucks. Reinhardt Reinhardt still plays basically the same, where he just has to run at you, but he has to be a little bit more careful now because he can actually realistically get punished. He's not playing with a Zarya. He doesn't have an escape route 90% of the time. Winston plays different. Diva plays different. Sigma plays about the same, but he's scary as hell. I'm just saying, there are characters that do play completely different. Reaper, for example, he's not that end-all be-all tank killer. You don't just swap Reaper to fight every single tank in the game. There's better options to fight certain tanks. Like, for example, I personally think while Reaper is really good at fighting Winston, he still can fight Winston. If you're really, really good with wall on certain game modes, you can get away with playing Mei to fight Winston. You can, especially because Mei does the most ridiculous amount of damage. Like, for example, most control maps, you can get away with playing Mei to counter Winston. With the exception of a few, like Busan. But that's besides the point. Just roles have diversified a tad bit, and things like that. And also just the actual fight style, it's no longer bunkery, where you could at least find the majority of their team seated behind an Orisa, a Reinhardt, a Sigma. It's basically just tank v tank, healers v DPS, and then the healers are trying to keep that tank 1v1 from going the wrong way. That's how the game is played now. It's super brawly. I know Brawl was an actual comp style, like with Brig, Rein, Doomfist, things like that in Overwatch 1. However, it was not this prevalent. And also, counterpicking is at a all-time high. I've never seen this much counterpicking. Even in gold, people are counterpicking a lot. Like, a lot. It used to be, if you were really good at a certain character, it didn't really matter who they played, unless it was Pharah and your character wasn't hit scan. You didn't really see much counterpicking. Pharah was like the only quote-unquote counterpicking, and obviously you would counterpick the Pharah. That was really it in gold, silver, bronze, all of that. That was it as an average gamer. That's the only counterpicking we had. Now tanks are counterpicking tanks. That is crazy. It doesn't play the same. I think it's because people got better, but Overwatch 2 and Overwatch 1 do not play not nearly the same. Now, another issue that I need to get off the top of my head. The season pass is not an L. The season pass is a W. The reason why the season pass is equated to being an L is because it got rid of loot boxes. That's the only reason why it's an L. I'm just being honest. If they didn't get rid of loot boxes, no one would complain about the season passes. I think they should have had both and had like a free option of the battle pass that every like some odd levels, like I think 5 would have been plenty, where it would give you loot boxes and you could get coins that to earn the battle pass, like every other game that has a battle pass, with the exception of like Genshin Impact. But that's a video for another day, I guess you could say. But stuff like that. So, with that being said, I don't think it's an L. I think it's a W. I think the Battle Pass is incredibly good. It gives their art team a lengthy amount of time to produce actually good skins and not mediocre, terrible skins. It does suck that not every character is going to get a skin, or is going to get like a really, really good skin, and some of the characters that do, like for example Genji, you're just going to see it every single match. But that's besides the point. I think it's a W, personally speaking. Also, I don't know if there's a way to free earn it, because I bought the $40 pack. They gave me the Space Raider skin because I wanted beta access and didn't get beta access. So I already have the battle pass. I don't know if there's a way to earn it off the top of my head. I would assume there is, but it is Blizzard and they're also owned by Activision, so I could see it not being capable. But let me know in the comment section below if it is possible or not. I'm not too versed in that. Now, the next thing worth noting is specifically, this one's kind of vague. It's almost overpoweredness, I guess you could say, of certain characters, where I think people are just a little bit unaware, or there's also people that think like Genji ghost dashing wasn't a thing in Overwatch 1 when it was, and some people that were also thinking that Genji ghost dash is after getting a kill his dash resets. Like, no, that ain't it, chief. But that's beside the point. I do want to talk about some overpowered characters or some characters that people say that are overpowered that aren't really overpowered, and also characters that are overpowered that everyone agrees are overpowered. And the ones that are overpowered, the people are saying that are overpowered, are Mei. I don't necessarily agree. I think she's like a niche pick, if I'm gonna be honest. She's really good against certain characters. Like if you're getting rolled by Genji, I think it's really good to switch to Mei since he can't reflect. For some odd reason, I've been seeing a lot of Junker Queens, where Junker Queen gets hard countered by Kuriko. So I don't think that Junker Queen is really overpowered. I think she's honestly niche. She's better than Doomfist. She's not the worst tank. She's definitely better than Doomfist, but she's not impeccable and she's not stupidly great. And then the only other character that I've been seeing people say that are desperately overpowered that I disagree with would probably be like Moira. Really, people are saying that Moira is like really, really busted right now. She's really not. Moira plays like almost exactly the same as she did. It's just people don't shoot her. It's very odd. It's kind of like the same thing where everyone shoots the reflecting Genji. It's like until you get to like, I don't know, maybe Diamond, somewhere I've never been, it's like you shoot the reflecting Genji and you don't shoot Moira for some reason. It's just very odd. But characters that are overpowered that everyone agrees, besides the specific characters' mains, are Kuriko. She's definitely busted. I think that her Swift Step needs just a tad bit of a longer cooldown. Protection Suzu's cooldown needs to probably go up a little bit. She's nuts. She heals a lot. She does a lot of damage. It's actually genuinely surprising how much damage she can output in a singular match. And the healing, I didn't think she could heal that much, I'm gonna be honest. That's why everyone runs her with Lucio, I thought, was because she didn't do enough healing. But she does a lot of healing. I think 1,000 per 10, around 1,000 to 2,000 per 10, which is about 10k to potentially 20k per 10, which is nuts. However, I think that she's probably gonna get a nerf sometime soon. I don't think it'll be anything. I don't think it'll be right now because of obvious reasons. They want you to play the character, but I definitely see it. Next up, we got Sojourn. My oh my. Sojourn aggravates the everlasting piss out of me. The railgun is just super annoying. I don't think that it needs a desperate nerf. What I think it needs is probably drop its base down to like, well, I think its base is already like 100. I don't remember what it is. It might be 150. But I think its base needs to drop just a tad bit. Its nade range needs to go down. Her nade range needs to go down, or the slow duration, or the slow effect needs to go down. One of the two, because she'll just nade behind you. You step in it, you get slowed, and she dinks you. It's kind of toxic. I'm not gonna lie. I hate dealing with it. However, I don't think she needs a desperate nerf because of the fact that she's basically pointless without her railgun and her nade. So I think that it should just be tinkered with a little bit. Next up on that list, Zarya. Man, oh man, if somebody didn't tell me that her bubble lasts 2 seconds, I wouldn't believe you, because them are the longest 2 seconds I've ever seen in my lifetime. The bubble never seems to go away, ever. I think that she should get neutered. Like, her bubble, max charge from her bubble that she should be able to get is 25, I think. 20 to 25. Which gives her 50 off of 2 bubbles. I think that's fair, because right now, if she pops both bubbles, if your teammates are dumb enough to shoot into her, which every single gold player in this rank are, including myself, she's on 8 charge and rolls through the rest of your team. Like, you just can't really heal that. Damage trumps healing. So, I think that's how you counter that. Sombra, I didn't really think Sombra was too broken. I thought the more broken part of her was her damage buff from being hacked. So that needs to get touched a little bit, which I know is getting touched in the mid-season update. And then, of course, next after that, is a character that I'm going to say is overpowered, which no one is talking about, which is Cassidy. Cassidy is so broken right now. His nade does stupid amount of damage. Like, he literally hits you once, you die. I've seen countless Cassidys throw nade and then fan hammer. That's all they got to do. If they hit 1 bullet out of the 6 they got in their mag, you're dead. And if they roll, they got another 6 in their mag, they fan hammer again. It's like, brother, stop it. They can really roll any person on the team with that stupid nade. Give him his flashback. I don't care. I'm gonna be honest. Nade either gets nerfed or give him his flashback, because it's driving me up a wall when I see that stupid magnetic grenade come out of his hands. It's very frustrating. But with that being said, I didn't want to make this video too long. I wanted to make it sub 15 minutes, which I did hit my goal. But with that being said, that's my Overwatch 2 opinions right now. I will come back probably on a later date and give some more opinions, and maybe even a hero tier list with the boys. With that being said, I'm out. Peace out.